Hi everyone, how are you? Here's my little puppy Besso. You haven't met him before. He wanted to join me because he's been on his own this morning. So if you see me doing anything with my hands, it's the little Besso down here, that's why. So we're going live today and we're just talking about how to get your work published. If you want to, what it means to you, what it might mean for your portfolio and CV. So we're really just gonna, I've written a blog post and we're going to be just talking about that. If you do have any questions or any comments or anything to add, or you want to correct me on any particular fact that I have, please feel free to. The industry changes so often and it's really hard to stay up to date with everything. So I've tried to get as much information as I can for you. So first of all, what does it actually mean to have your work published? Personally, if I see my work in a magazine or if I see my name credited in a magazine, it is a little kind of woohoo, pat on the back, a little bit of it kind of feels like an achievement. You do feel proud and it's something to shout about, something to blow your own trumpet about. Why not, quite frankly? So it is a bit of a reward, the fact that all your hard work has been submitted and accepted to a publication and to actually be printed up, which you can either buy online or in the shops. You can't quite explain the excitement. It's a bit like if you're seeing your work on television, seeing your work when you walk into Superdrug, and it is just amazing. And above everything else, it's that kind of pride that you feel, that you're just like, wow, this is great. And I would say any time that you feel like that and you kind of have that sense of achievement, just, enjoy it. Quite frankly, enjoy it. So let's discuss the different types of publications first off. Your mainstream magazines, newspapers, these are widely available for anyone to buy in supermarkets, newsagents, corner shops. Having your work published in these, yet again, is exciting. Seeing your work published, your name printed as a little keepsake and a little bit of kudos for your work. Fashion magazines such as Vogue, Look and Pop, yet again, they're really great and really nice publications for you to see your work in. So starting off, those ones that I just mentioned, Vogue, Love, Pop, any of those really big kind of fashion magazines, they tend to hire you as a makeup artist and you work freelance and you get booked for a job. You can put a shoot together with a mood board and a theme, and you can approach those magazines and see if they like the concept and if they feel they would publish it. Those are normally paid shoots. So whenever you're approached by a magazine for a photo shoot for a publication, it normally is paid, and or you are booked for that job, whether it's an assistant job or a job in your own right. So that's the main ones there. Other magazines like Closer and the magazines that come with The Sun, yet again, they tend to be paid jobs. You tend to be approached by someone and they'll give you the spec for what it is that they want, and therefore it will be a paid job. If you do want those types of jobs, it is a case of finding out who's booking the makeup artist. It's a case of who's already working for those publications and maybe getting in touch and seeing if they need an assistant at all. Or like I said, if you have got a whole mood board and a whole team and a concept, you can always approach them and say, hey, look, I'm thinking about doing this shoot and wondered if you would pop it in the magazine and therefore be published. And like I said, they should all be paid work. The ones that we're going to be talking about is actually where you submit your work to certain publications. So we're going to talk about those ones. First of all, does being a published artist actually get you more work? Now, really, that depends on how much people read into the word published. My first inclination is to say no. I have never ever had people phone me up and say, hey, I saw your name in Closer magazine and I'd love you to be a makeup artist for this job. The same with all kind of magazines, the same with all credits really. but the fact that I can put it on my portfolio, the fact that I can put it on my CV, then that might attract people and therefore lead to more work. So you're never 100% sure what does lead to more work, and that's why your insights and understanding where all your traffic comes from, where all your business comes from, so that you can see whether you are actually doing the right thing or not. As I say, I've been published in magazines, both high-end and the ones that you kind of publish to, and no one's ever got in touch with me going, look, I saw your work there and it was amazing and I'd like to book you for that job. That's when it comes to magazines. When it comes to social media or other places where people have seen your work, then yeah, that has led to future bookings. So as I said, will it lead to extra work? Who knows? I really guess that's kind of down to your potential employer and what they feel is important for their ideal candidates. This is kind of one of those topics that everyone will agree or disagree or have their own input, and that's absolutely fine. I'm just literally letting you know my thoughts and opinions and my experiences, so feel free to disagree and feel free to let me know. I'm really happy and open to that. So like I say, the excitement of seeing your work published is a really nice little pat on the back, and it is a little bit of kudos. So if you are looking to get your work published, I'm going to share my top tips with you. So first of all, choose your publication wisely. Do they tend to print anyone and everyone's work? Are they more specific and only print high quality work? Do have a look at the magazines, the type of photo shoots and models and makeup and work, and just see what kind of calibre it sits into and whether your work will sit well within that. Yet again, it's all down to the person whether they're going to accept your your submission for their publication. So do a little bit of research and just think, am I actually submitting my work to the correct publication? 2, will you be charged to submit, and at what cost? Sometimes the higher the quality of the magazine, the more they will want you to pay. Now, personally, I do not believe in paying to submit my work to a magazine to be published. I don't think anyone should be paying at all. To me, it's just wrong. Okay, I don't believe that's how companies should be monetizing. If you have done a photo shoot, probably a collaboration, it's taken loads of your time and everyone else's time, you've probably spent enough money on this shoot that you do not need to be paying to submit this shoot to be published. So if someone is charging, I would still well clear of that. Saying that, it tends to be the higher caliber ones. Let me think. I think Dark Beauty, I'm not sure if they do still charge, but they always did. Institute magazine charged a hell of a lot and actually just kind of made me laugh, actually. It's just a case of, I understand that there is work for some people to do when you submit your work, whether it's put in the layout of the magazine. So maybe you could call it an admin charge, and you might be happy paying a small admin charge that just kind of covers those costs. They're the only fees that I would personally be happy paying, and not be worth paying £100 or more just to have your work published in a magazine. I personally don't feel that anything is worth that. You might disagree, that's absolutely fine. So number 3, does the magazine have any themes? So before you start putting your photo shoot together, if your final conclusion is that you want this work published, what you need to do is have a little look at the magazine and see if they've got any themes. A lot of magazines have monthly themes, and they'll tend to send you a link to a Pinterest board to let you know what type of thing that they're looking for. So really what you want to do is just think about that theme, think about what it is that you're going to be putting together, make sure it fits in with that theme, but also make sure that you've kind of organised that shoot and got the result of the photos with plenty of time to reach the theme deadline, because if it's not the theme and if it doesn't meet the deadline, then it's probably not going to be accepted for to be published. So number 4, check out the rules. The rules set by the magazine. Make sure that your shoot fits in with them. Most magazines require a minimum of 4 different outfits. And if your shoot doesn't meet all the requirements, but you think it is high quality, then it is still worth submitting. However, I would really check out the general rules and try to meet them as much as you can so that you stand the best chance of getting your work published. There's now a platform that exists called Kavyar, Kavyar. A lot of the magazines are hooked up to this online platform and ask you to submit via there, which is actually really nice and easy. It's also a platform where you can reach other creatives, photographers, models, makeup artists, hairstylists, and you know, admire each other's work. So it's quite a nice platform to be on, whether you do or you don't want to submit anyway. So whether, sorry, excuse me, I'm a little bit lost in my thought there. Yeah, so it's worth being on Kavyar anyway, but if the magazine has asked you to submit, then basically what I would be wary of the most is the dimensions of the photos that they ask you to submit. You really need to check those dimensions and make sure that your photos do meet those dimensions before submitting. Yet again, that will all come down to the print and the publication and also the print quality of the end results. Quite frankly, if you meet all the guidelines and your shoot is relevant, then there is no reason why your work won't be accepted by the magazines. If it's a dream of yours, why not give it a little go? Obviously, I would say you need to be proud of your work that you're submitting. You need to be really happy with the results, and then you'd submit. Always submit your best work. Unpublished work. If your submission is accepted and they are going to publish it, then normally the requirements are that those photos haven't been seen before. So they tend to not want you to have shown on social media or for them to be published before. So don't put them on your website or anything like that. Yet again, it tends to be a general rule that you need with everyone that you have worked with on this shoot, that we are going to be submitting these. So unfortunately, no one can share them until they have been accepted and the publication comes out. Personally, I think there's a good rule. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's really important to make that clear with everyone that you're working with, that you will be submitting to a publication, because you can wait weeks, months. I think the longest I've rated has been about 10 months, and you can't share those photos. So if you're really proud of those photos and you want to put them on your website and social media and everything, then maybe submitting them to be published isn't for you for that shoot. So do bear that in your mind. If people love your work and get the chance to buy it in print, then it's a little keepsake for yourself as well. As the makeup artist, just remember that you need to get permission from the photographer if you are submitting. Most publications want the photographer to submit because they are the people that own the copyright of them, and obviously they need to make sure that there's certain requirements that are met. So I'd love to know your thoughts on getting published. I think lastly, I just want to talk about how those kind of publications work, because if you're submitting and you're not getting paid and you're not paying to submit, how do those magazines make their money? Well, most of these magazines are online, so you still have to pay for the online magazine if you do want access to it. Some good reputable magazines will actually send you tear sheets. So you've got those tear sheets to show on your social media and your website. But ideally, the whole idea is that you will buy the magazine online, and then if you do want a copy and print to be sent to your house, you will purchase that. Now, buying a magazine to come to your house probably is around about 30-40 quid, and you might think that's a lot of money, but that does pay for all of the printing, and it's normally, you know, a good substantial magazine. Do I think it's a lot of money for a magazine? Yes, I totally do, but I understand why those costs are involved, and it's down to the people that are working on the magazines, that are doing the layout, that are putting it all together. And at the end of the day, they have to make their money. So where are they making their money? They're basically making the money out of all the creative teams that have submitted their photos to be published. So if you think, normally there's a couple of models, a photographer, sometimes a stylist, a makeup artist, a hairstylist, sometimes a designer, and if all those people's work gets published, they're all going to pay either for the online or for the actual paper through the post, and that's how they make their money. So hopefully that's enlightened you a little bit. Sorry I wasn't as seamlessly as I normally am on lives. I think it's to do with this little puppy on my lap here. And the fact that I'm kind of reading the blog that I've written as well, and just making sure that everything that I've written up is also what I'm going to say. So like I said, you don't have to agree with me on all of those points or any of them, but I would love to hear your thoughts, and whether you think it is actually worth submitting and getting your work published or not. So speak to you soon. Hopefully I'll be live next week, Monday afternoon I'm aiming for, and take care and have a lovely week. Bye.